Well, welcome to Soul, Light, and Body.
Joan.
Laura, I
That's
could have seen you
funny.
dancing in the.
I was like so grooving to that song. I love that music. Wow.
Oh my goodness. I remember when myself and Joan was creating the intro and outro. We decided what type of music should we really use for that. It is a nice kind of music to put you in a good vibe to bring you in.
Love it. I was already getting
Thank
ready.
you.
All right, let's go. Like, I know we're talking about hope, and that music made me like hopeful. I love it.
Beautiful.
Oh, I loved it.
Yes.
It made me
Yeah,
happy.
thank you, Laura.
Yes, thank you. Thank
Mm. I'm gonna
Welcome,
like,
welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Soul Light and Body. We've been off for a while because we got so much things that we are doing, so much a project myself and Joan we are involved in at this moment. And we've been off for a while, but we haven't forgotten you. So we're back.
I
We are
know.
back.
I
Yes, we are
miss my
back.
girl.
I know, and we celebrated 2 years. And I just want to read a little bit of something. Congratulations on reaching 2 years. It's a significant milestone for Soul Light and Body, and it's time to celebrate. We reflect and express gratitude to the Soul Light and Body community and our amazing guests for 2 years of sharing stories, insights, and inspiration. A special thank you to all our listeners for being part of this journey. We are also celebrating the power of our podcast community. Our achievements over 100 episodes and counting. We've explored diverse topics, interviewed incredible guests, and grown together. From our first episode to now, it's been an incredible ride. We remember when we recorded our first episode, the late night editing sessions, the laughter, and the aha moments. Our podcast family has been something truly special to us. We're just getting started. Cheers to growth, learning, and making an impact. Soul Light and Body podcast has touched lives, sparked conversation, and created beautiful and amazing connections. We celebrate this achievement with joy and pride with the community. We appreciate and love you all. So we are here again. We are here again, and we're going to bring some fantastic guests back on so they could continue to empower you. And this evening is about empowerment. What a better way to start back Soul Light and Body. We've got such an empowered woman here, Laura Ballet, and she's going to help to empower the Soul Light and Body community and give us some tips how we can really walk through life. Because many times we feel hopeless, but she's here to give
Mm.
us hope. And she's here to help us understand that we have the ability, we have the choice to empower our lives. And if we can only sit back in silence and look at ourselves, we can able to empower ourselves moving forward in whatever direction you're going to empower your life. You can do it. Only you can do it. And
Yeah.
Laura gonna give
Always.
us the right. Sit back,
Yeah.
relax, and enjoy this 1 hour with us. I
Yeah.
am Karen Pascal, holistic health and wellness coach, and a co-author of 2 books with my sister Joan Williams. And that book is going to be on Amazon soon. We got some great things happening.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
exciting.
some great. Yeah, it is. It feels so exciting.
So
So
exciting.
yeah, I hope you continue to do your journaling. I hope you're pausing, sitting in silence, going within, allowing yourself to see the beauty within yourself. It's not a quick fix.
Yeah.
It's a journey, but you can do it because you have the power within yourself to do it. And you can make that choice today to do that
Mm.
inner work and help yourself so you can get up and you can walk again. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of your steps that you're making. Be proud of those baby steps because it's very essential that we really be proud of those baby steps we are making. So I'll now hand you over Laura, welcome. I'll now hand you over to Joan. Joan?
I love the
Wow,
laughter.
wow, wow. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's truly amazing. And talking about celebrating 2 years, what richness that we have created.
Yeah.
Collaboration, networking, projects,
Yep.
and so much more that people has poured into us as we have poured into them.
Mm.
And there is where the
Mhm.
magic is. There is where the
Yeah.
beauty is. Because as we coined the phrase, when purpose and
Mm.
passion ignite, it
It
becomes
becomes
magical.
magical. Hmm.
The
I
beauty,
love me magic.
it is so, it's such, and the most important thing is when like-minded people can come together in one
Hmm.
space and share that and serve, let's say serve that
Mm.
buffet style,
Yeah.
different topics, different
Yeah.
things we share together. And we all, because the common goal is to serve.
Yeah.
The common goal is to serve and serve well, serve humanity,
Mm.
so we can better our tomorrow. Although
Nice.
we
Hmm.
get today, because every day we constantly becoming.
Mm.
Hmm.
We want to live our true essential self. We want to live our best. We want to walk in the level of excellence and greatness. Because at the end of the day, when we move in, whether we're doing a workshop, we're doing podcasts, whatever we're doing, what are the deposits we're leaving in that space that can help someone as they move in their tomorrow, can help them to better themselves and walk in their space of greatness.
Mm. I love
So,
that.
yeah, there's where the beauty is.
Yeah.
And we
The
just want,
magic.
right, right, exactly,
Yeah.
Laura.
The
That,
The
magic.
that's where it is. And we just want to thank, because we created a magazine which is digital and hard copy, and the reviews that we're getting, the recipes you're trying, the good things that you're enjoying, healthy lifestyle, start healthy, all those amazing things. Because when we thought about creating that, we had you in mind.
Mm.
Because we're saying, how can we serve our viewers? How can we serve our friends? How can we serve? Because we live intentionally, Karen and I, and we live from a space, especially 2024. One of our goals is to serve and be intentional, volunteering, you know,
hmm
whether it's the soup kitchen, the shelters, be of more service, because that's the reason for our being. How can we help more? How can we share more?
hmm
So we just want to thank each and every one of you for supporting us, and we continue to support you as well. And just share the love,
Yeah.
share the abundance.
Share the love. I love that.
Yeah, let's share the love.
So
I
much of
agree.
what you're talking about too, or especially around the podcast, I look at podcasting now as this very modern and current style of education. And
Hmm.
there's so many unique people. And as you're, referencing like-minded, I always think of that very quote, not everyone likes vanilla
Right.
ice cream or chocolate ice cream or strawberry ice cream. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the beauty of creating a pathway of our own passion,
Mm-hmm.
because we know that when we are in servitude, right, and we'll bring this into that environment, that realm of hope, that what we're doing matters, what we're contributing is offering a value into the collective. So not only do we get to live out something that does matter to us, that's near and dear to our hearts, our soul, our spirit, but when we share it
Mm.
and laugh and maybe we have a couple of tears, or we tell a joke, or
Right.
we help someone get
Mm.
over this obstacle. Just like, when you were talking about being in servitude and doing volunteer work, showing up and having a conversation can give someone hope. You can create a little bit of that magic
Yeah.
just by being in the presence of someone that maybe doesn't have the same ideals as you or the same opportunities. But in the human condition is that knowing that I
True.
might just be able to get up and get
Yes.
out of this situation because look what they're doing.
Mhm.
They have this all going on, a podcast, a book, a magazine, but here they are. They are
Yeah.
actually taking time to connect with me. And there's just, I think, something so beautiful that happens on that human to human connectivity level. And you also were saying, that to rise to that level of excellence, right? I truly believe like we are boundless, right, in our aspirations. And I also truly believe that we are born for greatness. I don't even think it's a question. I think what happens is sometimes we do lose hope and we do lose faith and we do feel disempowered and we let our conditions and our circumstances rule us, and we forget to quiet the mind, to calm the chaos down and reconnect through hope that it's all right. It's not all going perfectly, but I've got something in me,
Mhm.
got a way out. And for me, right, this is all around thought energy and the quantum field of how we think about our own potential and our own abilities. But again, this word hope can really fit into there. I can empower that word hope. Hope for me could be
True.
creativity, it could be clarity, it could be courage, bravery, right? It could be the opposite of fear, it could be the opposite of depression. It could really just become whatever we choose it to become. So that, as Joan said, we can continue becoming. And I think when we lose that connection to hope and we lose the connection to authorize our own journey, this is where we kind of lose sight of those things. So I love the topic of hope because I think it's a very powerful word. It can certainly be a very spiritual word. It can be a religious word. I have a book here that I love. This was actually written by John Paul II, Crossing the Threshold of Hope. It's one of my favorite books. And though he's a pope, and it's a religious book, when I look through it in my eyes and my filter of quantum, and quantum just means a world of possibilities, unlimited thinking, tap into that current of what quantum can actually mean. And so I can take his words and his wisdom and they give me hope. And I don't have to necessarily, or I could equate it to a religion or a spiritual path or a consciously awakened path. But I think there's so many ways to really empower hope for our communities. And part of what the two of you are always doing together, which is so fabulous and inspiring. I work very closely with my brother, so I love sibling energy. I think it's just one of the magical experiences in life. So many of
Yes.
us don't get along with our siblings, and we
True.
allow
True.
politics and all this stuff to come between us, and it is just
True.
an
True.
no, 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 no. So I think asking ourselves, what if we were created for greater things? What if we really were created for magic and alchemy and excellence and brilliance? What would that look like? And what would that mean for me, regardless of, again, our present condition? How can I start to really evoke this hope in myself so that I become more open to, I think, what the pathway of hope can present to us? So, just a few thoughts at the beginning.
Well, I mean that is so amazing. First of all, thank you for saying yes to be here. It's a true
Thank
honor.
you for having me.
Kick off our first show for 2024.
Woo.
And the word just hope, because I mean all of us at some point in time need some kind of hope, and help us to rise up, to give us that level of hope and optimism to live, to journey through life. Things happen.
Yeah.
So my first question to you is, someone who is listening now and someone who is gonna catch us on the replay is going through a situation,
Mm.
how can they rise to the level of resiliency and have that hope that there is a better tomorrow, because they might be going through something tumultuous?
Mm.
How can they find that hope?
So I love this question. And for me, I feel very connected to, and I'm going to use my language, the environment of this question, because I believe that every day there are small challenges that call for our resilience. I really do. And I actually was speaking with a client yesterday, and they're going through something. And we were talking about how they asked, how do I rewire my mind to think differently? Because the way I'm thinking, it's not working. And I've thought this way my whole life. So I think this is fun for me. And I don't take, when I have these challenges, I don't take them and let them weigh me down.
Mm,
I take them as a, you can say, a God-given opportunity, again, a quantum opportunity, a conscious, spiritual, whatever word really feels right for you. We all understand when our back is against the wall. We all
Yes.
understand what it feels like when we've fallen down that rabbit hole and there's barely a light at the top, and we lose our sensories, we lose our balance, we lose our hope, our faith in ourselves first and foremost. And then that just makes us question everything around us. So I always tell my clients, for just a moment, I want you to suspend the doubt. So
mm,
whatever it is that you're going through, I want you to suspend it for a moment. And I want you to move in to this really truly power seat of choice. And I want you to start talking to me as if this challenge has already passed. And now I want you to go in. This is higher level intelligent thinking. So we're not reacting emotionally. We're really starting to exercise critical thinking. And we're going into an unlimited mindset. So we're not arguing the limitations. And clients will be, well, I can't. I'm
mhm,
scared. My husband, my wife, my kid. No, not
mhm.
allowed. It's you and me. Suspend. You can't have that language anymore. Right now, this is a sacred space. I want you to begin to connect to that part of you that knows differently, that higher part of you, God energy, universal, right? Metaverse. We all have different ways of looking at our environments, but I really want you to connect. And now I want you to speak as if it's already passed, and tell me, where are you now? What have you learned? What lesson can you now impart to someone who is now going through an energetic similarity of what? You will be amazed when you ask someone to show up for themselves. They may resist for a moment because the old personality is at work. The old patterns are just, on their loops. But as a coach, I'm like, no, 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 no. And they understand it's not a no hard stop. It's just no, like that elastic band, boom, boom, boom. I want you out of that mindset. And now I want you to move into this frame of thinking. And when you give people the opportunity, so those who are listening, just take a breath, and whatever that particular challenge is at the moment, again, suspend all doubt around it, which means you have to completely remove the limited thinking, the old way of being. And now you get to really try on something new. What would it feel like to have hope in this situation? What would it feel like if I was equipped with skills and knowledge to empower myself through this particular challenge. And we all have the answers within. Every single one of us has at least one answer when we take a moment to connect to that higher part of our knowing. And I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying it's a quick fix. I'm not saying that all life will all of a sudden become perfect. But what it does is it begins to gain this confidence and this trust, right? That I can see beyond what is right in front of me. And I can use, again, books, podcasts, knowledge, magazines, friendships, coaching. There's so much available to us to help us move from one place of stagnation right into another. And so this is where I'd like to just quickly remind everyone that pretty much we have two fields, quantum fields of energy, negative and positive. My new superpower, which I'd like to gift to the listeners, is neutrality. This is part of the J3 equals E formula and the science of empowerment. It works so beautifully with everyone. When you are in a negative frame of mind, no one expects you to just move into a positive state like that. So now all I'm going to ask you, and this is just, I'm up leveling now the formula. Now I want you to move from that challenge. Now you're not even suspending the doubt anymore. Now I'm already equipping you. Now you know I can go from negative to neutral. I've got that in me. I may not know exactly how to go from neutral to positive, but I do not have to align myself with that depression or that sadness, or again, the pattern, the overeating, the drinking, the overspending, whatever it may be. I can just stop for a moment and really start to catch my breath and think differently. Use thought energy to retrain the mind. And all of a sudden, nature starts to take over. That instinct, that beautiful, what I believe is coded in the DNA, the beautiful individualized brilliance starts to awaken. It gets excited because there's hope for a different outcome. There is a way to empower the transition. You just have to begin. And all it takes is one thought to say, okay, let me begin to suspend that doubt, fear. Let me release what is there. And let me start thinking with a higher level intelligence because it is in each and every one of us.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, let's go. Come on, people.
That's that that's powerful. That's powerful.
But
You
we can do it.
started so beautiful in that moment.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know, listening to you, Laura, it really helps an individual to understand that we don't have to stay at a point in negative energy.
Mhm.
We need the negative energy so we can empower ourselves and push ourselves forward to that neutral state. And when we get to that neutral state now, we come to that level of awareness in that state of mind, that your consciousness becomes more upbeat and you understand exactly what's happening to you.
Mhm.
When you get to that neutral state, you're able to empower yourself to understand exactly what's happening in that present moment, in that present time, whatever the situation is. So you gather that empowerment at the neutral state so you could propel forward to that positive state. So it's good how you explain to us that we don't really move from the negative straight to the positive. We fall in that gap between. The
Yeah.
gap between is very important for us, where we can really harness ourselves and
Yeah.
pick up back ourselves that we can move forward. So in the neutral state, it's very beautiful there because there is where we flourish. There is where we get all the knowledge that we need. In the neutral state, we prepare ourselves for the positive. because many times we want to get to the positive state, but we are not prepared for that positive state.
No, we
So
think
in
we
the
are, right?
exactly,
We
we
think we
think we
are,
are.
but we're not.
We are not prepared. Many times we don't have the necessary tools for us to deal with when the positivity comes to us. So I'm like, when you said that neutral state, that neutral state empowers us, so we
Yeah.
could move forward with a confidence to know that when we get to that positivity, we can really appreciate what is there that we've been asking for when we get to that positive state. So the neutral is the key. That's the key field that we have to rest on.
Yeah, I call it the power seat of choice, because when we're
Yes.
in negativity, we are operating from all past. It's
Right.
like a wake in the boat. There is science, data, research, quantum, everyone
Mhm.
understands this. Negativity, and it's not a bad thing per se, it is a past. Our personality is equating an experience, and that
Mhm,
experience is causing us to feel a certain way. And
mhm,
that feeling then activates the thought process, which keeps us in the negativity. So when you move into that, when you remind yourself, I am in the power seat of choice, I can move away from the negativity and I can start to neutralize the past by releasing that old pattern, that outdated information. And really, this is, and I call it the resting ridge. So the state of neutrality for me is a resting ridge. And we can all go into our mind, whatever that looks like. It could be a hike, it could be sitting in a garden, our toes in the sand, a cozy blanket, and a cup of tea. It is a metaphoric place. It is a real place. It is a spiritual place. It is a hopeful place where we get to give ourselves a moment to remember. Again, it is coded in our DNA. We are born for brilliance. We are born for an empowered life. We are meant to be in forward motion. We are not meant to go back, right? We are born to till the soil, plant the seed. Again, everyone has got their own lexicon, but it's so important to remind yourself that in that moment of chaos and drama and influence from a past experience, we are holding ourselves captive in the negative realm. And we do not belong there. We belong in neutrality and forward into a positive outcome. And the reason why positivity is a beautiful, empowering state, but it is not one that can be sustained because it's built into the human condition contrast, light and dark, right? Good, bad, negative, positive. We need this beautiful kind of alchemy of these two experiences to put us in that state of neutrality, to remind us where we've been, why we do not need to stay connected, and why we feel propelled to go forward. And then, even when we arrive at a state of positivity, there will be new challenges and new tests to come.
mhm.
Now, we've gotten skilled in what I call the art of
Right.
recalibration. Now I
Mhm,
know what it is to be negative. I used to spend days, months, years. Some people have spent decades in negativity.
mhm.
Now I'm starting to really exercise this beautiful place of neutrality. So something negative comes in, a challenge, something, disturbs your nature. Now, okay, what am I
Right.
aware of? And very quickly, I'll move through the formula because this will help so many people. I'm aware that I've been here 100 times. What am I willing to do about it? I'm willing to neutralize the negativity. Who's accountable for this? I
Mhm,
am. Third
mhm.
principle, accountability. So we've got awareness, first principle, willingness, second principle, accountability, third principle. So I'm aware I'm negative. I'm willing to neutralize it. I am accountable for this transformation, no one else. Fourth principle, critical thinking. I take the emotionality, i.e., suspend the doubt. Now I start to think with critical thought, which is a higher level of intelligence. Let me think as if I've already mastered that. I've already transformed. I've already arrived. Now you start to feel that power. Now you move into the fifth principle, energy, negative, positive, neutral. Well, I'm no longer negative. I really love neutrality because now I'm starting to feel more positive, i.e., empowered. And that is the J3 equals E in a nutshell. That's 5 principles, 3 fields of energy. When you apply that, you live an empowered life. And neutral starts to become nature. Negativity starts to move through your life very quickly. And I can say this with authentic coaching and confidence and love out to the listeners. I live my life all this time, all this way. I live this principle, I live this formula, and really, and I truly mean it, neutrality has really become the power seat of everything I do.
Beautiful. I mean, what you have laid out so beautiful. It's like, think about baking a cake.
Mm.
All the ingredients that has to be in place
Yes.
for everything to come together to serve.
Yeah.
And you have laid out all the ingredients and what is necessary for us because it's life. We're going to have to face positivity. We have to deal with negativity. But
Mhm.
how do we manage it? And how do we move from negative space, neutrality, and being positive?
Yeah.
And how do we get there? And you have laid it out so beautiful so that we can able to stand strong, stand in our power, be who we be, the reason for why we being here.
Yeah.
And when we are equipped, as we always talk about, Karen and I talk about the tools, when we are equipped, we can manage better. We can handle the situation better. We can manage things that come from left field, not expected, but we can manage better. We can bounce back quickly. We are equipped with a level of resiliency that we can cope. Coping mechanism is so important. And we can stand strong, we can stand tall, and we can journey with that level of knowing it's going to be okay.
Yeah. And it really is going to be okay. And even in really in the face of a challenge, and we've all been there through loss and death and
Mhm.
illness and financial ruins and all of what the human condition just loves to throw at us humans, we really are resilient.
Mm,
There's something that's built into us. None
yeah,
of us like to be in a situation that really forces us, right, to move outside of our comfort zone. We're all
right.
creatures of luxury and comfort, and that's whatever that means to each person. But what I'd really love to convey is take that challenge and use it as fuel,
Mm-hmm.
physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, and my favorite fuel of all, energetic fuel to move you beyond where you have always been. Who wants to be at the end of their life and say, coulda, woulda, shoulda? I don't. Now, that's not a
No, no,
judgment if you do. Yeah. But what happens if we start to look at every challenge as a power seat of choice?
mm-hmm.
I get to look at it. Now, I don't want to get divorced, or I don't want to lose my job, or maybe I don't want to be overweight, or I don't want to be addicted to alcohol, and all of what we can share that we know are challenges. But what happens if you looked at it and thought, what happens if my higher self or God or universal energies is kicking in right now in this moment, presenting itself through this challenge so I can rise to my excellence?
Mm,
I can level up to that brilliance, that greatness. And if I let it pass me by, what am I left with? Everything I've always been left with, which means what I've already had. And we're not meant to just settle for what we've always had.
true. True.
This does not mean we don't embrace the beauty and the comfort of what is solid in our life, our partnerships, our friendships, and our passions and all that. But it means that there is an absolutely unlimited, unblocked world that we can begin to tap into through our thought energy
Right.
and begin to activate with action and start to get that very unique magic in our own life.
Mhm.
And when we do this, it is absolutely the next step is to be in service. All you want to do is
Yes.
tell everyone the book I read, the podcast, the
Yes.
coach, anywhere, an event I went to, I learned something, I felt something, it touched me, it ignited something, it sparked an awareness. And that's, I think, why we all get very passionate about what we do. I know I always am ready to jump out of my seat because I can't contain what I have learned in my life and what I know works. And all I want to do is gift it out.
Yes.
And it may not be received perfectly, because there's language.
Right.
I may use words. If I was talking, say, in a religious someone may get it differently. If I was talking in quantum fields of studying, biogeometry, someone may get it there. I think, though, everyone understands, and this is the beauty of the formula, we all understand negative, positive, neutral. We all know what it means. We all know what happiness feels like and unhappiness feels like. And we know when we catch a moment and we can just breathe. We take a shower, we make some warm soup, we take a walk with a friend. We all know what that feels like.
Right.
So I think this is the beauty of hope, that there always is hope to move from one environment through to another. And the more you practice this power seat of choice, the more you use your thought energy to elevate your experiences, the easier recalibration becomes. And I promise you, if you practice this, my clients, it is amazing when they reach back out to me, because I don't coach anyone for over a year. If I can't help you within that time frame, then I am
True.
not doing my job. That's me personally. If you
Mhm.
want to hire me and put me on retainer because you love my support, that's very different. But I want you to know how powerful that
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
are. And so you get clients that reach back out and you can hear it. They know now. God, and they'll be like, why did oh, whoop. Nope, you're good.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter why, doesn't matter who,
Right.
doesn't matter the
Right.
outcome. Done. We
Mhm.
can't even go back 1 second ago and change it.
No, you can't.
So now what do we do? And, Joan, as you were saying, even in that first question, helping people understand that it's okay to cry and kick and scream and punch a pillow, vent, get it out. My first coaching sessions, I give everyone an hour to just pour it out. Pour
Right.
it out. I do. We're not talking. I'm not coaching. This is your safe space. Just get it out.
Yeah.
Now let's begin. Now we can actually do something. Now we can start to release that attachment to that behavior, right? Those patterns that no longer serve the greater good. Now we can start to recalibrate the thought process, use that energy to our benefit. And again, God energy, universal energy. It is all the same, people. It's all a beautiful, big, magical universe out there. And there's some power that allows energy to move in our body, right? Cells and biology and thought processes and creativity, and people design and engineer all kinds of things. You are no different. No different. So, whatever is blocking you, it is a perception based on past experiences, on a personality that you think is you. Change it all up, blow it out, become someone brand new, and now begin to create something for yourself that is, I believe, magical.
That is magical. But the way how you have described it, that is magical. Because when you can become, because every day we are becoming, yesterday is gone, every day is a fresh start, every day is a new day. What you've laid out, and we all capture that, it's beautiful because when we can be that and try to strive and attain that, that is why self-talk is so important.
Yeah.
Because what we tell ourselves, that's who we're going to become. So when we can embody everything that you have outlined and listed there, the ingredients, the keys, the components, to be that,
Yeah.
challenges will come. But when we are equipped enough, as I said, then we can handle, we can stand strong in our power, and then we can be and
And
still be the type of service.
there's no excuses anymore for any of us to be in a state of stagnation.
Mhm.
There are podcasts, there are books, there are communities. There, I talk about this in the science of empowerment, how we all can build our own internal living library,
Mhm.
collect what matters to you,
Yeah.
search out. I am always the kid in the room that tries to get in the biggest room with the most bad bleep people, and I ask as many questions as someone will allow. And this is how I learn. If I'm on a boat out in the summer, I will go to the person that owns the boat. How did you get this boat? What did you do? How did you get your license? What size is the engine? And I've been like this since I was a kid, and people who know me really well know Laura, because not every bit of information seeds in my mind.
Mhm.
It's something I've really tried to teach my daughters, and I can again express this out to the audience. When we have interest in outside, right, environments, it allows us to become interesting, and that empowers our life. And
Sure.
I think people miss
So
that.
true. So
Yeah,
true.
they miss that. If I ask a question or I read a book or I venture somewhere that I'm a bit nervous, I feel insecure,
Right.
or I don't think I have what it takes. The only way to get past it is to live through it. It really is. And so again, even if it's, we want to go back and empower this word hope, and I hope I land this job, or I hope that I connect with that person, or I hope that when I do this podcast. This is how you live an empowered life. You create it one experience at a time, and you learn from it, and you recalibrate it, and you pick up a new word or a new book or a new podcast. You become friends with two amazing women. You start to travel around, the world, meaning that in a metaphoric way. Like, what we had a conversation the other day that we were like, we should have recorded it, but it was
Right.
such a lovely private moment. But we spent over an hour and a half talking about life. And this is my point, that, when you go outside of that comfort zone,
Mhm.
you begin to gather tools and techniques and skills, and again, information. And one of the things I say a lot, when I'm coaching or speaking, is we all know that statement out in the world, that knowledge is power. It absolutely gives us some sense of higher level thinking, but application of that knowledge is empowering. And I think it's two different things, because I read a lot. Right now, I'm reading a 2,000-page book on cognitive science written by this mad genius. Unless I actually start to take parts out of the book that I align with and begin to use them on my husband or my friends or my kids, I don't know what it feels like. I don't know how I'm going to interact, but I begin to master that new way of being out in my daily life. So when I go to give a speech on it, or I go to work with a client and they're like, how do you know all this? It's because I take time to study and to
Right.
read.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And so this is what I'm saying, all of this. So even if you're sitting in an environment right now when you hear this and everything is just not quite right, it's okay at the moment.
Mhm.
Pick up a book, go to the library, talk to someone on a park bench, be safe, but you know what I mean. I'm old school there. Start to converse, communicate, ask questions, volunteer somewhere, move out, move that field out beyond you. And you will be so amazed at the magic that the universe starts to reflect
Yeah.
back to you.
Yeah.
Now you start to grow, you start to become educated, you gather wisdom. Now you have the opportunity to be in service. And that for me is the most empowering feeling in the world. And not in an egoic way at all, because you have to leave yourself at the
Mm.
door when you are in servitude for
True.
anyone. But
True.
boy, do you know, I can come to you face to face, authentically, genuinely offering my heart because I've been through those shadows. I've worked it. And now I get to gift it. And I don't, again, this is not ego. This is the exchange of
Yeah.
my experience and giving you hope that you can now start to have an empowered life.
Wow.
Wow.
Well said, Laura.
Well
Well
said.
said, Laura. Many
Wow.
times we are asking ourselves the question, my life is not changing. I don't know what's happening. I don't know when things are going to get better. I really don't know how I'm going to move myself from here to the next point in my life. You got to do it. You got to put in
Right.
the work. That is the only way it's going to happen. There is no magic out there that is going to change it for you. You've got to make that conscious choice that, you know what, I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to take myself to that neutral state so I can empower myself to move forward with my life. And if once you start, as Laura said, once you start to change that energy,
Mm,
you'll start to feel totally different. You'll
For
start to attract the right kind of people in your life who can help to shift you from that space that you're in to another higher level that you're looking to go. Many times we want changes in our lives. We're looking for changes in our lives. But what are you doing?
yeah.
What steps are you taking? The action steps is what is important to shift you from one state to the other state. You got to make that conscious decision. You know what? I'm going to take that action step to move forward with my life. And you got to know the people you're surrounding yourself with. You
Mm,
got to know what you're listening to, because wherever you're focusing your energy, that is what exactly is going to happen for you. So you
mm,
got to pay attention to so many things when you're going through these different stages of life. You've got to pay attention what you are doing. You got to be conscious about what you're doing. Because
mm,
if you want to move, you got to create that energy to shift you. If you don't create that new energy within, you cannot be shifted into the right direction you want to go. You're going to shift, as Laura rightly said, you're going to keep repeating those energies all the time. So if you want to really move, you got to delete and you
mm.
got to reprogram so you can
Absolutely.
really shift. So
And
if
that's
you
the
if
beauty. I'm so sorry.
exactly.
That's the beauty of the mind. That's the we are equipped with the largest,
Mm-hmm.
advanced computer system in the world. And I'm not going in that AI tech. I'm talking creativity sits right here in this little space. The
Mhm.
creativity of the world. Whether you look at Tesla and you look at, Einstein, or you even look at Bruce Lipton studying epigenetics and all Shakespeare, it doesn't matter. Whoever rocks your boat, right? There are people out there that understand that in here, what you put in, and you're right, music, reading, food,
Mm-hmm.
who you hang out with, the environment that you put your own body into, all of that has an energetic frequency. All of it has. Okay, real quick, I just was listening to this talk. They were talking about how if we were in a room together, and say the two of you were sitting on a couch and I walked in to say hello, and my adrenals or my cortisol was up because I got into a fight, say with my husband before I left, my energy will actually go through the environment and go into you. This is not a thought. This is not, maybes. This is science is starting to begin to understand how energy moves through environments and has, and I write about this in the book, positive or negative causation. So if you look at an apple, you already know the frequency of that apple. If you look at a bag of Doritos, you already know the vibe off the Doritos. Which one are you choosing? And people have asked me, is it really down to that? And I said, absolutely. If you do not understand that this is your temple, this is your vehicle, this is your guide for this lifetime. We're not living in the time yet where we can 3D reprint ourselves at home, right? You've got to take care of the organs, the mind, the eyes, the heart, the soul. It's such a beautiful gift to have been born into physicality with this mind that can take thought and actually create podcast, books, sisterhood, communities, beautiful homes, cool cars, great food. People lose that gratitude for how amazing and spectacular all of this is, and how each human, has the responsibility to create and add value into the collective so that we are all contributing legacy in a neutral to positive way. And it doesn't mean that every person has to find the cure for cancer or become the
Right.
president of the United States. It doesn't mean any of that. I have friends. One of my dearest friends was a janitor. He was one of the wisest human beings I will ever know. He read, I don't know, something like 5,000 books in his life. It's you just There is no limit but the limit you place onto yourself. It is your accountability and your responsibility to step in to the fullness of your potential. And the reason why we need to do this is because we actually have causation on the person next to us and the person across the world from us. How we think, how we feel, how we speak actually ripples out in the energetic currents of the quantum fields of possibilities. And what are we bringing? And if you understand that, beautiful. If you don't, read my book, call me, listen to this beautiful podcast community. The girls have 100 of them. We can learn, grow, evolve, and elevate at every turn within every experience. And there's no reason anymore to stay in that state of, I can't, I'm scared, it's not for me. No more. Suspend the fear, believe it is you, and have hope that in time you will gather the knowledge and the wisdom, the tools, the techniques, and the skills to live into your dream. I know I get so passionate. I can't help it. I want everyone to.
Laura,
Mm-hmm.
I know, Laura, just listening to you, oh my goodness. You know, it brings me to say this now. When when we shift ourselves into this higher frequency, when we vibrate really high, we move on a level, and when we move on this level, we attract the great things towards ourselves. right? And it only helps you to expand. It's an expansion normally happen. When you start to move on this frequency, you expand. Is to say that, to say this.
Yeah.
A couple of months ago, or a few weeks, yeah, but 2 months ago, I should say, myself and John, last year, we called up a company asking them, because they had an exhibition, and we asking them if there were spots available. And they said, no, there were no, any more spots was not available anymore. Spots were gone. It was too late. And a couple of weeks ago, Joan got the call, and they said, we got a spot available. Are you girls want it? And it was like, hell yeah, we're going to take it. Right? And now myself and Joan will be in New York City at Javits Center
Yeah.
on the 30th of May and the 31st of May. And it's a world big expo. And we're going to be there. We're going to have a booth. The booth is 205 in New York City. And we're going to be exhibiting what we do best. You know, and it's just to tell you that when you wake up each day and you wake up with a mindset, how can I serve humanity? What else can I do? You're asking the universe to bring things for you, how you can serve, be of service.
Yeah.
The universe will always support what you want. The universe will always bring what you want. So you can empower others, because the universe knows your mission. The universe see what you want to do. The universe see your passion, what you want to do. And because of that, the universe will always support you. I can testify to that. Joan can testify to that. Laura can testify to that. The universe will always support you. If you listen to this podcast now, listen well. Whatever you want in life, you have the ability to achieve whatever you want. It's all about your thought, what you're thinking. And whatever you think, that is what you're going to attract. If you wake up and think abundance, you're going to receive abundance. If you wake up and think scarcity, you're going to receive scarcity, because the universe is going to only give you what you put out. It's a match. You got a match inside with the outside. And if you're looking to bring great things into your life, you got to start from within, so it could attract the things in that you want. I'll hand the mic now over to Joan. Joan, finish it up.
We're just having our own party.
I know.
Yeah. The thing is that, first of all, you have to ask yourself, what do I want?
True.
What do I want? What is my hope? What are my aspirations? And how do I attain that to walk in my level of excellence?
Mm-hmm.
How do I get there? How do I evolve from one space to another?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to look at my mindset? What am I thinking? What are my self-thoughts? Am I reminding myself I have that special uniqueness? I'm unique. I'm special. I'm one of a kind. And how am I going to live that out? And how am I going to bring my gift to the world? And what am I attracting to my environment? And when we can outline those things, who I want to become, what am I attracting, the people am I surrounding myself with, and I'm rising and I'm leveling up to become who I want to be, evolving, walking a level of excellence, bringing my greatness out into the world. I'm going to draw it out. I'm going to reach inside of me as an individual and draw that out, bring it out, because we all came with the special gift and gifts to share with people. We talk about service, And so when we lay those things out, practice on our level of gratitude, journaling, writing the things we hope to see and how we can make that impact in the world, things happen.
Yeah.
Things just happen. You know,
Yeah.
because we call the company and we were seeking for placing ourselves in these spaces and for no reason. Well, I shouldn't say for no reason. The
Yeah.
universe has just shifted someone else out
Yeah.
and make that space and reposition it.
Yeah.
And so the level of alignment, because the way we think and the way we attract, things can just reposition for us. There's where the magic is.
I love
It
this.
happens.
I just wrote align with your empowerment because it is already there.
Yeah.
It's already there. It's just
Yes.
individually aligning. And again,
Yes.
not only have the hope and the faith, but
Mm-hmm.
take the action,
Yes.
use your thought energy to create what that alignment can look like because that booth was already yours.
Yes.
It just was.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Even
Yes.
though last year, and I just want to just jump in with this too as well. No's can turn to yes.
Yeah.
Patience can give results to hope
Yeah.
because you may get a no today. Don't be discouraged.
Yeah.
If you listen to this podcast, don't be discouraged.
Yeah.
Stay in that level of frequency, that high vibration, and be hopeful.
Yeah.
Keep aligning with that. Feed it, water it, because it can happen.
Yeah.
And that phone call will come, that email will come, that text message will come, that letter
Yes.
will come
Yes.
because you're staying hopeful. Don't be
Yes.
discouraged. However, you
Yes.
think tonight, don't be discouraged because you might get a bad report, you might get a bad answer, and you may feel disappointed. No, you pause because you have to accept things as is. But water that seed, water it, knowing that your time will come, knowing that that moment will come. And there is where the magic happens.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah.
Yes. 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 The thing is that we have to rest in that neutral
Mhm.
whenever you're aspiring for something, and we rest in that neutral state. When we are in that neutral state, there is where that magic happens for us. In that
There's a
neutral
clarity.
state,
Yeah.
right? In that neutral state is the preparation state. Because when you hear the no, you may feel away, oh my God, I had the hope for this and it's no.
Mhm.
But you got
Bye
to
bye.
shift into that neutral state and continue to prepare yourself. Continue to prepare yourself for when that yes come.
Yeah.
Because you never know when that phone call is going to come. You,
Mhm.
as John, right, you never know when that text message is going to come in. So when you are in that neutral state, you are preparing yourself for when the yes come. Because when the yes come for Joan and I, we are prepared. We can show up fully now. We are
Mhm.
prepared for it. We are ready. So that neutral state, as Laura talks about, is the preparation state. So you prepare yourself for whatever you're asking for. You're preparing yourself in that neutral state for what is to come for you. Right, Laura?
Yeah, and so many of us have these big goals and dreams and visions and we want something, but what are we really doing to attract it in, or what are we doing to align with it? Everybody, I used to tell my kids, everybody wants, unicorns and ponies, but there's a responsibility,
Yeah.
right, to ownership of something like that. And they would, I don't understand. I said, yes, because you think having something out there is going to make you feel a certain way. Now, I want you to understand, what would you have to do in order to get what you think you want? Now you start to align with, do I really want it? Is it truly
Mm-hmm.
authentic to my path? Am I really passionate about it? Because if you answer yes to those things, then you will do anything and everything to get there. And as you said, so many people do not find the joy and the empowerment and the prep work. And that, for me, again, that's where the magic is. That's the alchemy of the God force, the
Mm-hmm.
universal
Mm-hmm.
force at its highest
Mm-hmm.
and best. The
Mm-hmm.
preparing, that education behind it. So when you do get the call to speak on a stage or publish a book or be interviewed on a podcast or show up at an exhibit, you're ready to go. There's no doubt. There's no fear. It's yes, you're asking. Thank you. I will show up and I will give you my best, because there's a real confidence that I've done the work. I've educated
Yes.
the process,
Yeah.
so I can show up knowing that everyone that hears or listens or sees or read or engages with me, again, even if not everything aligns, they know that person is speaking their truth. They've
Yes.
studied, they've researched, they believe in their product, their words, their
Mm-hmm.
book.
Mm-hmm.
And now at least I know I'm getting genuine energy from another human being, and that empowers one another.
Absolutely right, Laura. It all starts with us.
Yeah.
We gotta advocate for ourselves.
Yeah.
If we're looking to make that change with our lives, it gotta start with us. And it start
Yeah.
from within, not the
Yeah. It's an inside
outside.
job.
It
Yeah.
start from the inside. And
Yeah.
once we can be willing enough to do that inside job, you will see the external start to change.
Absolutely. And you really can't explain that to other people other than to share the knowledge of the experience. I
Yeah.
promise you, when you go within, right? I'm starting to write a new book called Empowerment 365. And it's these very cool daily power quotes to just
Mm-hmm.
remind you it's an
Right.
inside job. But the
Yes.
minute you start tapping into that part of you, that higher knowing that you were born and you are destined for something past this present moment, your whole life will begin to change.
Yes.
It really will.
Absolutely right, Laura. Wow. I can't believe it's always this hour went down so quickly.
I know. I just looked at the time. It's an
Oh my
hour,
goodness.
an hour.
What's the biggest takeaway you hope listeners learn today?
That you are already an empowered human being. You are already empowered. Just think it, feel it, know it, and move on it. And let nobody discourage you from that truth.
Absolutely right, Laura. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let nobody shift you from
No.
what you believe in. Once
Yeah.
you have that to birth, just birth
Yeah.
it. Just
My
birth it.
grandmother, my grandmother used to say, "Shoe fly, shoe." It's like a fly on the shoulder, like you flick it off. That's all it is. It's someone else's perception, someone else's projection, someone else's drama and chaos. It is not yours. You are empowered. Align with this knowledge. Live from that knowing. Even if you doubt it, suspend it. Live from it. Build up that confidence and start going after something really big and wonderful.
Wow, wow, wow. Who has been the most influential person in your life and why?
Hmm. Wow. I'm going to say I've been very blessed. There's quite a few people, but I'm going to give a shout out to my brother Christopher. He created the J3 equals E formula, and it really changed my life. So I love my baby brother. Thank you. He's a genius.
What's next for Laura?
Oh boy, woo, that's a loaded question. Well, we know, right? So I am really starting to up level my speaking engagements. I'm just having a ball. I am beginning to create a course all around the formula and the science of empowerment. Finally, the book is on Amazon and it's selling all over the world. That is just an amazing feeling. I want to give a shout out to Laura Katanen, the founder of ZLO Studio. I am the community success coach there. It is a fabulous, courageous leadership program, coaching experience in the metaverse. It really moved me outside of my comfort zone. I speak my truth. I don't just tell people to move out of their comfort zone. I actually spent the last 2 years and did it. So speaking, writing, podcasts, course creation, and really just finding unique and genuine ways to empower our communities, our global family, and certainly individuals. And I'm relaunching my coaching program, which I love. It's been on hiatus. I've been helping someone else create their business, and I'm back coaching, and I just love it. It's so much fun.
Wow. So you're continuing to empower communities and you're helping people to really shift their self-limiting beliefs to
Yeah.
a more neutral state and to
Yeah.
move to positivity.
Yeah.
Laura, you are an amazing person.
Yep.
We just want to thank you so much for taking the time and sitting with us today and empowering our audience as usual
Yeah.
and helping our audience to understand that, you know what, we don't have to stay where we at in that negative state. We could move to neutral, empower ourselves in that neutral state, that we can able to attract the things and that we're looking to attract in our lives. And we can able to know that our mindset and our thoughts help us to do the inward work that we need to do in our lives. Thank you so much for
Thank
sitting with
you.
us today and empowering our audience with hope, with hope. And to the audience, we want to thank you so much for taking the time and sitting with us today. As usual, take your notes, empower yourself, know that you're one of a kind. You're the only one can make that choice for yourself. You can empower yourself. You can advocate for yourself. Only you can do it. Only you can do it. Don't let no one discourage you from the path that you want to take. If you want to start a podcast, you want to write a book, you want to start a business, whatever it is, empower yourself with that dream. Empower yourself with that energy. If one person say no, the no is not the final answer for you. Continue to stay in that neutral state and continue to empower yourself. You will get the yes that you are looking for. Continue, continue, continue. So, a Light and Body family, just want to thank you so much for taking the time, Laura, and the audience, and Tommy Thompson behind the scenes. We just want to thank you for showing up also and helping us with Soul Light and Body. And tomorrow we got a special edition with Dr. Dalip Chatterjee. He's going to be speaking on sleep apnea. And that is a lot of people is having that problem. That is why we decided to reach out to him. He said, I'm going to give you guys half an hour. We're going to take it. So he's going to be present here tomorrow. Tune in from 4 to 4:30, and he's going to able to empower you how you can really help yourself to sleep well.
Nice.
Thank you so much once again, Laura. And to the audience, thank you, and we love you. Continue to join us. We got more beautiful topics coming up. Continue to tune in, and don't forget to subscribe to Soul, Light, and Body. Have a Have a good evening. Bye bye.